when we sell ourselves to ideas that have been created by the intellectual elites that deal heavily in vicarious ideology, you get communities and people that really only are triggered by the emotional arousal that says, this is what we need for change to happen. Now, there's two extremes to that. Just like there's just generally two extremes to anything. What we're seeing right now is an imbalance of that arousal. You know, this whole Kyle Rittenhouse case, you know, I'm glad that they found him innocent. I believe that he was indeed protecting himself. Now, beside the particulars, just think about this. You have BLM, the organization, and Antifa stirring up the arousal in people that most believe that Kyle Rittenhouse shot 2 black men and murdered 1. But most don't know that it was 2 white men and 1 was murdered. That they have a rap sheet of egregious crime. That they themselves would fit the bill for BLM and Antifa to be white supremacists. This is what happens when we fall into the ideology of vicarious living. Yes, and I said that specifically, ideology, the idea of what could be based upon how it makes me feel. Most of what we're seeing has been led in tremendous part to the elites of academia, the intellectual elites who deal heavily in ideology and theory. When we do that, we cause so much confusion, but that's a big part of what they want. The democratic ideology is to cause chaos, is to ensue oppression, is to keep the mind and in some cases the body enslaved. This is shown throughout history. I don't want to just say, well, those Democrats or those Republicans, because predominantly what we're really talking about when we say Democrat or Republican or even Libertarian or a Green Party, we're talking about ideas that lead the group of people. It's so nefarious. It's so nefarious, like the Ku Klux Klan being started by the Democratic Party with the Democratic ideology in the 1860s. It's the same thing as the Ku Klux Klan railing against anybody that was of the Republican Party. They hung both black and white people because of the ideas that led their convictions. If we sit back and watch for a while, we'll see that the ideology, the democratic ideology, only brings destruction. It only brings chaos. It only is for self. It is not for the good of the people. It just isn't. And as long as we go along with the emotional arousal that is so rooted in what we're all seeing now, then we will continue to forego critical thinking, because critical thinking allows for us to sit back and say, how will I respond? Now, you may respond opposed to the way I may respond, and that's fine. Remember, I've said in other videos, opposed is just the opposite idea, our thought, opposition. I don't have a problem with anyone's opposition. I have a problem with stupidity that is led by emotional arousal that leads to blind fury, or even also the unwillingness to move at all. What we're seeing is predominantly based upon the intellectual elites that are led in our universities and schools to plant ideas that are so nefarious, that are so antithetical to the American reality, that we have liberty, hard fought for liberty, and here we are throwing it away. Just throwing it away because how we feel. Not based upon the critical thinking or reading or engaging face-to-face with people who may share similar ideas or separate ideas. But just think about this. When BLM or Antifa or you, with your ideology, to raise up to defend these criminals that were shot and murdered. I'm not saying that, oh yes, they got murdered and they got shot, but when we sit here and rally against a young man protecting himself, saying we don't like what, or saying you, not I, you or whoever that carries the ideology of everything's racist, when we do that, we're truly forgetting that we're either championing for the white supremacist idea and raising up our own hurts and pains without thinking about them, or we're also just in a blind fury of vicarious emotion. Well, this is what I was told, this is what it could be, this is what it is, so therefore. It's time to wake up. Let's not just run on these ideas. These ideas are getting people killed. And that's the idea. You turn the people in against themselves altogether with confusion and fury, and vicarianism will have its day. Existentialism will have its day. The nihilists will have their day. The communists and the socialism will have their day, because we forgot how to think critically about all these things and not be led solely by how we feel.